Hi, I am Abby Wallach. I wanted to thank you for taking the time to watch my video and hear my story, hear my heart. I'm sure you've seen my frequent posts about the products that have changed my life so much. And I wanted to give you a little background on how my story came to be. Before I get started, I just want to take a minute to say that this is my own personal experience, my own story. Plexus does not claim to cure, treat, diagnose any disease. Um, with that being said, my story starts about 6 years ago. I was a mom of two boys at the time. I was very healthy, or so I thought. I was a runner, a frequent runner. I had a very clean diet. One day I woke up with a frozen shoulder, and I don't know if you know what that feels like, but basically you can't move your shoulder. It hurts really bad to move your shoulder. So I was like, this is weird. And so I had gone to my doctor, who had referred me to a physical therapist. My physical therapist told me I had a frozen shoulder, and also told me that he believed that my inflammation was systemic, meaning it was throughout my body, and then referred me back to my primary care physician, who told me that we were just going to treat the inflammation with Tylenol and ibuprofen. That did not touch it. And so a couple weeks went by, and I continued to get worse. And so we decided that we were going to go see the best of the best in Boston. So we went to a rheumatologist at Brigham and Women's, and we came back from that appointment with still no answers. And in the meantime, I really didn't know what I was going to do. I did not yet have an official diagnosis. I just had pain throughout my entire body, to the point where I could not dress myself, could not take care of myself, and I could not take care of my kids, especially in the morning. So my doctor at the time said, we're going to give you prednisone. We have to do something to put out the fire. And I am somebody that has always struggled with taking anything at all. I don't even like to take Tylenol or ibuprofen. And to this day, I will avoid it at all costs. And so I was very resistant, but at the same time, I knew I needed to do something. I was a mess. The pain was just, it was so bad that I couldn't sleep at night because I couldn't move. The blankets on me were painful. If I moved ever so slightly, the pain was excruciating. And so my doctor said, we're going to put you on prednisone. And if it doesn't respond to prednisone, then it's fibromyalgia. And if it does respond to prednisone, then it's rheumatoid arthritis. And sure enough, I did prednisone, and I felt like $1,000,000. um, um, and so that is how I was diagnosed 6 years ago with rheumatoid arthritis. And so my doctor said, okay, now that we know what it is, we need to begin treatment. But I was in denial. I still, in my heart of hearts, did not think I had RA. I was very healthy, or I thought I was very healthy. I just could not understand why somebody who could just be going, everything's going great their whole life, and then all of a sudden get super, super sick. Just like that, just basically overnight. And so I was so resistant to start any treatments. I felt so good on prednisone that we found out we were expecting our third child, our daughter. And I went through that entire pregnancy in pain. My RA did not go into remission during pregnancy, and I also had to continue to take prednisone through my entire pregnancy. It was not a healthy pregnancy. My daughter was tiny. She had something called intrauterine growth restriction, which I'm guessing was from all that inflammation and maybe the prednisone that I was taking. I don't know, but She was born of 5 pounds, 5 ounces, and they actually induced me early to because they thought she had a better chance of survival on the outside than on the inside. So I that was a hard time, but she's fine. She's perfectly healthy now. And then after I had her, of course, my arthritis just came back with a vengeance. And so over the past 4 years, I had been enduring trial and error with I swear, every pharmaceutical you can think of for RA. You name it, I have probably tried it. And it just kept becoming increasingly clear that this was not going to respond to traditional treatments. And then I also went through Lyme treatments for Lyme disease, because I was tested for Lyme, but it came back negative. So my doctor thought that maybe even though it was negative, there was still a chance that I could have Lyme. So I went through Lyme treatment, and I tell everybody that if you can get through Lyme treatment, you can get through anything. Lyme-Herxheimer reactions. So yeah, it was pretty rough for quite a few years, and we struggled. It took a lot out of me emotionally. I was maybe even a little depressed. I had spent years and years in pain at that point, and trying to raise 3 children. And so finally, after multiple failed RA treatments, I just knew that if I was going to get better, if I was going to heal, it had to be up to me. And that's when I started to research gut health and leaky gut syndrome, and the importance of diet and food. And so I really just embarked on this journey to heal my gut. And I did this with diet alone in the beginning. And so that's why I kind of chuckle a little bit when somebody tells me, oh, I eat well and I exercise, I don't need supplements. I can tell you that I had the cleanest diet you could possibly imagine. I followed a very strict protocol, which is called autoimmune protocol. It's like a paleo type of diet, except it's a little more strict, and plus I knew that there were countless other fruits and vegetables I was sensitive to because I was tested for food sensitivity. So there was not a lot that I could eat, and everything that I did eat had to be super nutritious in its purest form, organic whenever possible. And then I started seeing a functional medicine doctor who was really great at getting me the tests that I needed to really find out what was going on with my body. I found out that even though I was taking eating probiotic and prebiotic foods in what I thought were good amounts, and I was taking a really high quality probiotic that I had to put in the refrigerator, I found that I was still missing key probiotics from my gut. I also found out that my body was not able to properly metabolize or use fats and proteins. So I was losing a lot of weight because I could not absorb those nutrients. So I also found out that I had an MTHFR gene mutation, so I could not take folic acid, which was in the vitamin that I was taking at the time. Synthetic folic acid is really not good for anybody, but especially for about 40 to 60% of the population who have this gene mutation. It's really not good for you. It can build up to toxic levels in your body. And so just by eliminating folic acid and taking a methylated vitamin, a methylated folate supplement, that was helping me to feel better right away. So I still even after all the work I had done with my diet, and then I was taking these supplements through my functional medicine doctor, which were helping, um, but not a lot. I knew that they had to be doing something, but I wasn't feeling like this overwhelming, like, oh, I feel so much better finally. But I just kept plugging away at it. And it was right around this time that my friend Jamie was telling me about Plexus. So Jamie and I connected because we connected through family, but we had a similar story where she went through Lyme treatments and was treated very aggressively for Lyme disease. And I had seen what that disease had done to her. I had seen what the treatments had done to her. And she was just so sick. But I'd also seen her starting to get better. And she was telling me about Plexus. And she told me I should try it. And I said, oh, that's great, Jamie. I'm so glad that you found something that works for you. But I'm taking these really pharmaceutical grade, high quality supplements from my functional medicine doctor. And, I'm all set, but thank you for thinking of me. Really, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, are you serious? There is no way. Like, how can these work? I didn't even know at the time they were sold by a network marketing company. And so if I did, I think I would have been even more skeptical. What I did do, though, and what we don't advise anybody doing, is to go and to Google Plexus. And of course, I found all of this negative and false information. And so when she would approach me about it again, I would say, yeah, but I read, that, this, and this. And she'd say, actually, that's false. And she would give me the evidence that, why that was false and what the products actually were. And then I did my own research. I went to PubMed, I went to reputable sites, and I looked up each individual ingredient, and I was comfortable with what I saw. And a lot of the things I was already taking through my functional medicine doctor. So I should also mention that Jamie is a doctor, and I was still very skeptical about what she was telling me. So I got to a point where the amount of money we were spending on the supplements through my functional medicine doctor was astronomical, and it absolutely depleted our savings. And so finally I said, I have to try it. We have to do something different. I have to at least try it. Cost comparison was like, it was a no-brainer in that sense. I mean, Plexus was so inexpensive compared to what I was paying. So I started, and I have to admit that I was the absolute worst Plexus customer. I was still very skeptical, had a terrible mindset, didn't think it was going to work, and I went into it just negatively, and I didn't take the products consistently, and lo and behold, I didn't really feel like it was doing much for me. So when she called to check in on me, I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't think it's working for me. Nothing's ever going to work. I'm just always going to feel this way. And, thank you for trying to help me. And she actually, in a very nice way, said, if you want the products to work, you actually have to take them. And then I thought, you know what? I have the products. Why am I being such an idiot about it? I have them. They're here. I might as well just give it my all, draw my line in the sand, and take them the way that they're supposed to be taken and see what happens. So then I said, I'm going to give it 3 months and see what happens. And I thank God every day that I decided to stick it out. My life has completely changed. I will tell you that I did go through detox a lot in the beginning. It was a huge adjustment for me. You name the detox symptom and I had it. So it was something that I really had to really buckle down and give myself pep talks every day that I was going to stick with it. Because I knew what it was. I knew it was detox. I had been through something similar before with Lyme. And so a Herxheimer reaction. And so I knew, but it was still very hard. And I probably right around the 6 week to 2 month mark, I remember sitting on the floor playing with my daughter, and um, I went to stand up. Now, typically, going to stand up would have been painful. I couldn't support my weight on my wrist. It was hard for me to get up. My knees were swollen all the time. And I just stood up. And it surprised me so much that I sat back down and I did it again. I just stood up and I didn't have any pain. And I was like, how long have I been living pain free? The changes were so gradual that I didn't even realize that it was working for me. And then I started to think about all the things that had improved in my life since I started taking it. So being pain free was just scratching the surface. I had been living without pain and I didn't even realize it. And that was at the point where I realized that I hadn't been taking my medication like I was supposed to, because I didn't need to. Usually when I forgot my medication, my body was screaming. And I didn't take it. And then, like, I was thinking about all of the other things that were improving and happening that I wasn't paying attention to. My sleep had improved. I didn't have I didn't want to drink coffee anymore. I gave up coffee. Usually that would have been so hard for me to do. And I had horrible adrenal fatigue from being on prednisone for so long. But coffee was something that was so hard for me to give up. And I just didn't want it anymore. Hormones, like, you know, uh, lady hormones, those were gone. It was just the changes that I was seeing were absolutely incredible. I had sustained energy. I was not exhausted at the end of the day. I was more patient with my kids and my husband. I had energy to exercise, which I never did before. After being in chronic pain for so long, like, it really just sucks the energy right out of you. And then all of a sudden, I had all of this energy. My food sensitivity is resolved. My skin was clearer. I had bad rosacea, and my rosacea had cleared up. I was just happier. My hair improved. Like, my digestion, my overall digestion. It's just been incredible, and every month gets better and better. So I have been doing this for over a year, and I am not stopping. Um, it has changed my life on such an amazing and fundamental level that I am going to tell everybody I know. I'm going to tell people that I don't know, because there are people suffering in silence. Whether it's something serious like what I was going through, or if it's just like a new mom who just needs energy and doesn't have it, and or just wants more patience with her kids, or if it's somebody that has Crohn's or IBS or any digestive issues. Almost every issue that you can think of ties back to blood sugar regulation, inflammation control, and gut health. Those three things that Plexus really has cornered the market on. And so this is why I share with people. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching this far. And if it's not something that you're interested in, that's okay. I just really appreciate you hearing my story. But I want to ask you to think of people in your life that you could help. Even if you don't want anything to do with what I'm saying, is there somebody in your life that suffers in silence, that doctors can't help because they're not sure what's wrong, or that have had chronic health issues all their life? Do you know anybody like this? I never intended to do this as a business, ever. This was so far out of my comfort zone. But once I knew it was working for me, I knew that it could help anybody if it helped me. And so I really just kind of took a deep breath and, asked for guidance, and just decided to start sharing. And the lives that we have changed just by doing that are it's just incredible. It has been the most rewarding experience I have ever been a part of. Um, our team is amazing. We have the most wonderful team of encouragers, motivators, supporters, many health professionals. We have doctors, we have chiropractors, we have nurses, we have naturopaths, we have nutritionists, we have everybody from all walks of life that love these products and endorse these products and take these products because what they have done for them and what they have seen them do. And so I decided to start sharing um, because the products are absolutely life changing. Um, they changed my life. The business has changed my family's future. And so I am a teacher, and about 9 months after I started sharing, I had exceeded my teaching salary, and it continues to go up. Um, so the business opportunity is absolutely phenomenal, and I can't imagine a better business opportunity than this. Um, and so I'm happy to tell you more about that as well. We are able to start saving for my kids' college. We have a 5-year plan to be completely debt free, including our house. We are going on vacations. We are saving for the future. We're saving for retirement. It has been so wonderful. So I would love to tell you more about that as well, but that's just my story in a nutshell. And really, there's a lot more twists and turns that I was able to tell you about tonight, but I wanted to try to wrap it up because it's been about 20 minutes. So thank you for sticking with me for this long. And again, I reached out to you because I just felt you needed to hear my heart. And I think a lot of you. So have a great day. And I would love to hear your thoughts.